bing, shoot arrows. Those guys, like archers, bow and arrows. Pyong, pyong, pyong. Hello name nerds, my name is Patrick and welcome to Fun with First Names, where each week we look into the meaning, origin and some extra fun facts behind one specific first name. And this week we're looking into the first name of Yvonne. But before we continue, I just need to remind all you lovely people that we're trying to hit $700 a month over on Patreon. And if you want to help support Name Explain in any way possible, Patreon is the best way to do it. Just $1 a month helps me in a huge way, helps the channel in a huge way, keeps the lights on here, keeps Amber working hard behind the camera. She's not actually behind the camera, but behind her screen, she does an amazing job editing these videos. She'll probably sort out that error I just made there, it'll stumble on my words. She does an amazing job. Patreon helps support that, it helps support the channel, helps keep the lights on here. $1 a month gets you ad-free videos, extra content, and has a chance to say what names get explained here on the channel, as I talk about all the time now. And if we hit $700 a month before the end of March, I'm gonna go out and film a video somewhere in the wild, not sure where. You guys can have a say in that. So link down below, patreon.com/Name Explain. If you can help support, that would be amazing. It helps the channel, it helps me, it helps Amber, it helps everyone, and you get a great deal out of it. There's a lot worse ways you could spend that $1 a month, probably, but I'd recommend it anyway. And I need to say a huge thank you to one Paul Bowen, because he became a patron recently. Thank you very much, Paul. Apologies, I was supposed to mention you last week. I was meant to mention you last week, but I completely forgot to because I'm tired and just a pretty awful human, but we're getting there. Thank you so much, Paul, for your support. You're amazing. Okay, anyway, on with today's name of Yvonne. And Yvonne is a really unique name. Names beginning with Y are pretty hard to come by here in the English language, and names beginning with YV are even more rare. So if you're gonna have the name Yvonne, I'm saying that how it should be pronounced, Yvonne. If you guys have the name Yvonne, you kind of got to hope it has a really cool meaning too. And luckily, Yvonne's meaning is actually pretty nice, at least at first glance, however. Most sources, e.g. baby name books and baby name websites, tend to agree on this name's meaning. However, some other sources believe that we shouldn't take this name's meaning at first glance. It's almost as if this name actually has a more secret meaning. Well, kind of anyway. But before we find out this name's meaning, we need to look into its origin. And I was pretty surprised to see that Yvonne is simply the feminine form of a masculine name, with that masculine name being Yvonne. I say I'm surprised to hear this because I'd never actually heard of this name of Yvonne before, while I have heard of Yvonne. And I guess that's probably because I'm an English speaker and this name isn't particularly popular in the English speaking world. Yvonne is, but Yvonne is not. And this is because these names, both this masculine and feminine form, are French names. So perhaps in France and other French speaking countries, there are Yvonnes left, right and centre. You can't walk down the street without bashing into an Yvonne. If you're on a French Yvonne, let me know down in the comments, Yvonne or Yvonne. There's only a slight difference between those two names, the male and female form, but my mouth makes that difference illegible in some cases. Yvonne for ladies, Yvonne for men, or masculine, feminine. Call people what you want to call them. It doesn't matter. Always say, why are we putting names between genders? It's just a bit silly, guys. It's 2022. Come on. Anyway, that French name of Yvonne is simply the modern French way of spelling the older French name of Yves. And Yves is simply the French form of the older Germanic name of Ivo. So it went from Ivo to Yves to Yvonne to Yvonne. Simple really. So to understand what this modern French female name of Yvonne means, we actually have to understand what this ancient Germanic male name of Ivo means. And this ancient Germanic name of Ivo simply means yew, as in yew trees, not as in you or as in the baby sheeps, but the trees. This means that the modern female name of Yvonne also means yew too. Most baby name books and websites and blogs have Yvonne meaning yew tree, and that's a really nice, pretty natural meaning. People like nature, people like trees. It's a cool thing to have a name meaning. So yeah, it's a cool name meaning to have, I would say. That's cool, Yvonne, cool, yew trees, nice. It's believed that yew trees found themselves as a name for habitual reasons. People who would have lived around or near yew trees would have ended up having this name, given it to their children, and it became a first name, like we've seen so many times here on Fun with First Names. It's a pretty common way for a name to begin its life. Some, however, think Yew became a name for a different reason, a more secret, maybe sinister reason. And it's that secret meaning of this name that I put in the title of this video that hopefully lulled you into watching this video. At least I hope so anyway. If you have watched this video, great, please subscribe if you haven't already. Some believe that the yew that made the name Yvonne doesn't relate to habitat, but rather relates to occupation. With the occupation, the name relating to being archers, as in, you know, the people who like, ping, shoot arrows, those guys, like archers, bow and arrows, pew pew pew. I think that's how you use an arrow, I don't know. Do I look like the kind of person who uses a bow and arrow? This is because it's the wood of a yew tree that was traditionally used to make bows and arrows. And even to this day, many professional archers and archery enthusiasts and archer websites still vouches yew as being the best wood to use for bow and arrows. It's a wood very deeply linked with archery. So while Yvonne might at first glance have this very nice, pretty, flowy nature meaning lovely yew trees, it might actually secretly mean you're an archer. Yong! I should just get an actual bow and arrow, shouldn't I, for this video? Donate on Patreon, I'll buy a bow and arrow. Maybe I'll shoot something. I don't know what. I won't buy a bow and arrow. That won't go down well. This is, of course, just a theory around this name, but it's an interesting enough theory to center this video around, hopefully get you guys clicking and watching. Thank you very much. Why don't you let me know your favorite fictional archer down in the comments below? And obviously it's Legolas, right? It has to be Legolas or Sterling, either Legolas or Sterling. They're both very different kind of archers. Or even The Archers, the great BBC4 radio drama. Love The Archers, never listened to it, but I'm glad it exists. Today, however, Yvonne isn't in the top 1,000 girls' names in the UK or the USA, and it really hit its peak in about the mid-20th century, from about the 50s to the 60s, 70s, kind of started to descend down from there. No sign of it coming back, and this has led to Yvonne having a very much like older generation image. It's one of those sort of names like Pam or Karen. Karen's a fine name. There's nothing wrong with being called Karen. We've talked about that here before. It's one of those sort of more associated with women born in that time period. I don't want to use any other term other than that, but it's very much a name of that period. I'm sure there might be some sort of Yvonne's born in the 60s, 70s watching this video. Hope you are. Hope you're doing well. Famous Yvonnes include Yvonne, I need to pronounce this surname here, Strahovski. Really apologise for mispronouncing that, but she is an actress. She's in Dexter, she's in The Handmaid's Tale, and she was also the voice actress for Batwoman in one of DC's many animated movies, so she's a pretty well respected actress, it seems. Good on you. Sorry if I butchered your last name. And there's also Yvonne Hudson. She was the first ever black female cast character on Saturday Night Live. So if you don't know Saturday Night Live, it's a really popular comedy show over in the USA. If you watch 30 Rock, the girly show is basically based on Saturday Night Live. Loads of really beloved American stand-ups and comedians came through Saturday Night Live. Bill Murray, Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, basically all of Ghostbusters, even the modern Ghostbusters, they were all kind of Saturday Night Live people. Tina Fey herself, Amy Poehler, Jimmy Fallon I think was on there. It's a breeding ground for like America's top comedians, and she was the first black woman to be a regular on the show. Good for you, Yvonne Hudson. And there was also Yvonne Cotton. She was an EastEnders character. Now, I don't watch EastEnders or know who this person is. However, I did read she was played by Pauline McLynn. Pauline McLynn played Mrs. Doyle on Father Ted, one of my favourite TV shows ever. So it's just great to talk about Pauline McLynn because she's a great actress. Any chance to talk about her, dago on. But anyway, that's more than enough about the name Yvonne. But what are your thoughts on this name? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do you know anyone with the name Yvonne? Are you called Yvonne yourself? Let me know down in the comments below. And of course, I just want to share some of the thoughts you guys had on last week's name of Dakota. Max Eisenberg said, another fun Dakota place name is near where I live in New York City. The apartment building, the Dakota, famously where John Lennon was killed, got its name apocryphally? Should have shut out to say that, because at the time it was built, it was considered to so remote from the rest of New York that it might as well be as far as the Dakotas. This is particularly funny now because it's right next to Central Park in Manhattan, and it's a pretty tony part of the city. Shocking how much even the most dense place in the US, Manhattan, has changed in 100 to 150 years. That is really interesting. This name Dakota kind of appears all over the shot. Also, that's really cool if you live that close to like Central Park in New York, Max. If I'm ever staying in New York, I'm giving you a call because I want property accommodation that's central in the city. Thanks. Thank you very much for telling us where you live. Didn't tell us exactly where you live, but enough that I'm coming on holiday there when I can. Robo said, I think it's fairly common in Australia. I've come across a few Dakotas, even one with a sister called Indiana. American place names seem quite popular over here. My son goes to a school with twins called Austin and Memphis. That's crazy. Yeah, American place names are really popular as baby names at the moment. I know a few babies with American place names. I wonder how popular this is in America itself. America has this really like romanticized image to a lot of people. There's people out there who are really obsessed with like American culture and just everything Americana. And I think it's maybe more of those people giving their kids these sort of American-based names. If you happen to be one, if you're an American with an American-based name, that's great to know. I mean, Austin kind of was a name anyway, so that one kind of makes more sense, but name your kid what you want to name them. As long as they're safe and as long as it doesn't give them too much grief in life and the child's happy, name what you want to call them. But just, I don't know, America. Like the Donald Glover song. This is America. You get the idea. And Aboz the Untidy said, as a lifelong North Dakotan, I'm thrilled anytime we get a mention from a YouTube sensation. Sensation? Have you seen my views recently? I'm far from a sensation at the moment, but thank you very much, I'll take the compliment. Go suggest some names for me explained down in the comments below, and I'll pick 3 of those to be put into a poll exclusively for my patrons to vote on to be covered for the next Fun with First Names video. So if you enjoy the channel, want to help support it and have a say in what names get explained, once again, please do consider becoming a patron. It helps out the channel so much, helps me, helps Amber behind the camera, not really behind the camera, helps just everything really, keeps the lights on in here. That big light on up there, I pay for with Patreon money. Thank you very much. It helps channel amazingly. And you guys get loads of extra goodies in return. It's really one of the best ways you can spend $1 if you enjoy Name Explain. I can't think of a better way to spend it. Extra content, podcasts, blog posts, ad-free videos, you name it, it's all on Patreon. $1 a month, patreon.com/nameexplain. I should really learn how to promote my Patreon better because it's doing awfully at the moment, but that's my problem, not yours. Thank you. But anyway, that's more than enough for myself. But don't forget to go follow me on Instagram, where I'm NameExplainYT, and don't forget to go join the Facebook group, Friends of Name Explain. Okay guys, take care. Yvonne. Yvonne. Got it written down here on my phone. Yvonne. But before we begin, one Paul Bowen, because the secret meaning behind it. This origin has a more that again. That being the older French name of Yves. That's all right, Yves. Name of Yvonne is simply This is going to be fun to say. The modern name of Yvonne, not Yvonne, but rather relates to occupation. That's better. While Yvonne, why can't I say that? Oh, did you hear that? Oh, sorry if you don't like that. That's gross. And there was, hear that Yvonne? Vaughan. Let's just stick with that.